Welcome everybody to another episode of Saving Arcana. Here we are. We changed up the setup a little bit, and as you can tell, our people are a little bit different. We now have Steve.
Hi.
Yeah. Steve.
Hello.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
It's not your real name.
No.
What's your real name?
My real name's Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
So Trent, as you can see, is not with us. The poor guy has moved away, and he will be missed. So his character will, for the benefit of this, will be playing along with, but we will not be playing his character, and it will be involved in the story. But for that time, we'll miss you, Trent. Thank you so much for being a part of this thus far. Last episode, Ava, which was Luis, is now Spoof. So this, my friends, is the new cast of Saving Arcana. Thank you guys for coming on Saturday. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Early in the morning. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Some new microphones and a new kind of setup, so hopefully we can dial this podcast video. It's not a podcast anymore. We're just a D&D
We're a
group.
multicast.
We're a multicast.
Multicast,
now on
baby.
YouTube. Yeah.
Multimedia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like being a conglomerate.
Are you okay?
No. I'm a little weird.
Oh.
I'm a little weird.
We'll power through it.
I'm trying. All right. Start us off.
What's up, adventurers? This is Nick. I'm playing Balrog the Conqueror. He is a level 5 Dragonborn with his trusty steed, Oscar.
Well, I was just going to say that Oscar he's a beast.
Yeah. Well, he's a trusty steed.
He's a trusty steed.
Yeah.
Can you call
He's jacked. He's jacked in the leg
Can you
department.
call an ostrich a steed?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm going with it. Next up.
Hello, my name's Dustin. I'm playing Bruce Rockbar. He's a really very barbarian. Ready to kick some ass. Take
Get
a few
it.
names.
Love it. We're going to dial that in over like the next 12
Next
episodes.
episode, I'm gonna find Bruce's voice.
Like one episode, it'll just be like, this is the voice. Bear with us.
Gotta workshop
So-
it.
This is where you guys are going to sit from now on. On
Yes.
my right. This is so
Yep.
I can
Yep.
do this. This
Yep.
is great.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm playing Steve, the sad tax accountant. He's
Welcome to the character we're going to have to carry the entire campaign.
hey now. He's a level 5 wild sorcerer, and he's just tragically depressed all the time.
It's making me so uncomfortable. Your RP is going to take like an hour.
Well, guys, I guess we can.
I think.
I guess I'll go to the tavern. I don't know, man.
Well, welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
Last.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate, playing Voquis, Ranger, level 5. Excited for the new cast. Really sad to see Trent and Luis go. It's a lot of change, but excited to get back to Haven and to find all of my money. All of my money.
That money's gone.
To get it back.
Yeah.
Super excited.
About that money.
To
Let's
get
roll
all
a
of my
D100. On a 100, you get your money back.
It's a 100! Yay, I get all my money
It's the
back.
farthest thing from 100 you can
I
possibly get.
literally
Actually,
think you're
whatever.
lying.
How much money do you have on yourself right now?
I have 2,000 monies on
Yeah,
me right now.
it's
Yeah,
all
I know.
gone.
You
All
did
of
not-
it's gone.
You did not
All
just
of it.
actually roll a 1 on a D100, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
That would have been awesome.
I was going to say.
On a 1, I would have just been like, by the way, all the rest of your money gone too. It's just-
It's all gone.
Actually, you know what? You died.
Actually,
it's weird.
This
So
is
he's
the
gone.
dice that rules everything. Like game-breaking mechanics right here. 1 in 100 chance. Okay, so... Okay, let's just rock right into it. You guys were running away. That giant 25-foot fire elemental is just starting to lose its step and then all of a sudden crumble and just go into a goop of lava and covering the street. You guys were all booking it. Haven is now gone completely. That sigil in the sky, completely gone. But there's an eerie silence fallen upon the town as you are literally the only people alive in all of the city. What would you guys like to do at this current moment as you guys were running? Starting Knuckles.
I would like to take a long rest.
Not possible. You are currently riding on Oscar, full speed, to the south gate.
I would like to make it to that south gate.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're heading. I'm
I'll-
basically asking for intent,
Yeah.
really. So
I would also like to make it to the South Gate.
Okay.
I'm hot on his heels.
Okay. Steve.
God, I don't know.
Okay.
I stand in the middle of the street and panic, I think.
Okay. No, that's panic. That's perfectly good. Voquis, what do you got?
Okay.
Intent.
Intent is. So I'm by
Ava literally just left out of your hands, and
her soul, but
her body is limp.
I want to. Intent is to see if there's anything left in her body. Is Elric and Steve are still next to me, right?
Elric is shapeshifted into the warhorse, and he is booking it. He's actually out in front of where Balrog is. I got to start using the character name. I keep thinking to use Knuckles.
We need to put name signs.
Yeah. I'll just get better.
Just get name tags.
So he's booking it. Elric's going.
Steve is having a panic attack next to me.
Yep.
Ava's dead in front of me.
Yeah, she is just completely lifeless in front of you.
Okay, cool. So I
Are you
would
about
like.
to cry?
Voquis
Hum
good.
drum piece in the back.
So Voquis would like to probably medicine check Ava,
Sure.
to see if there's anything.
Intent to kind of check on her.
Yeah.
Okay, so
See if there's
I'm going to
anything
do this in
left.
reverse order real quick. You walk over to her. I can only imagine you are just completely solemn.
Yeah.
As you just saw
Like
her
barely
soul
holding it
just
together, yeah.
ripped out of her and her lifeless body fall to the ground. You check her pulse, nothing. Her eyes are just not completely, but it's glassed over like glaucoma style. It's just white in the eyes, and it's completely lifeless. It's cold to the touch when you touch her skin. You raise her hand a little bit just to kind of see if there's anything. You listen to her heart. Everything is gone. She's completely lifeless. Anything else you'd like to do with medicine checking her?
So. No, I'm gonna just kind of, like, I need to take her body with us to get
Sure.
her, like,
You start to scoop her up and.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Panic. Still panicking.
I think trying to help Voquis at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go over, and you both kind of lift her together and start to carry her towards the south gate.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are still just booking it.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll for initiative.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, split the party.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Oh, dude. Good job.
Please tell. Yeah.
Roll for that initiative. Roll that d20.
We did.
Did everybody do it? Everybody roll for
Oh,
that's
we
what
did.
roll for initiative means.
Do you want us to
killing
shout it
me.
out, or you're gonna point at us?
Bruce, what is yours?
3.
Okay. Balrog.
19.
Okay.
22.
Voquis. 22. Steve.
5.
Ooh. Okay. Voquis, you're gonna get first. It goes Voquis, Balrog, Steve, then Bruce. Okay. Elric is just booking it. What's happening right now, why I have you roll for initiative, is you hear this cracking noise and this sundering as a... You ever seen those sound waves from an explosion happening, but it's the ripple effect? Mm-hmm. Think of that, but it's the ground. All of a sudden, a ripple underneath the ground just... And it throws you a bit as you launched up because this ripple literally made the ground feel like liquid. What's happening is you hear these loud cracking noises and almost explosions and these weird like mountain moving, crushing tectonic plates as the ground begins to shake. Voquis, with you're up first, so you can turn around if you want. You're all running away from the sound at this point. Do you turn around?
Yeah, can I just, like, turn my head and, like,
Yeah.
perception check?
Absolutely. Even with your passive perception, because everybody's above 10, you'll be able to see this because on the south side, you guys are up on the hill. Mm-hmm. When you turn around and look, you see that sword coming out of the ground about 30, 40 feet, and then boom, right back into the ground. And each time it does that, another shockwave rings through the ground. But it turns the hard rock into liquid as it makes this shockwave underneath of you. And each time it passes over you, you just lift up like you're in the wave pool. And when that happens, each time it goes deeper and it takes that entire market area and it crushes it in. And it does it about every 5 to 10 seconds. It lifts out, and then boom, and it sends up that shockwave. 2 shockwaves have happened. What would you like to do? You're first on the initiative.
So I am going to scream to my party members and let them know what I saw, and
Sure.
just say, continue to double dash, like run, use your action to dash, like get like the hell out of the city.
Okay. All right. So you lean over to them. You yell this out. I'm sure you guys are still within ear reach to hear her screech at you as you hear her. It's just this ear piercing, and you're right there with her. Are you guys in tandem? Since you're kind of together, I'm gonna let Steve kind of have a out of initiative order. Are you guys just gonna try to book it? Are you going to use your turn to run essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys together make I need a total number of how far you guys can run with your what's your movement, and then you're going to use your action, I'm sure, to dash. Yeah. So what is your movement, Steve?
30.
Is it 30?
It should be 30.
Oh, yeah, it is 30.
Okay, so you get a total of 60. You get a total of 60 since he's the slowest. But I need you both to make a strength check for me.
Great.
No, I'm gonna retcon that. Give me a
Thank you.
dexterity saving throw. As you are carrying a body and these waves are coming while you're running to not be tripped up. I'm looking for a number.
20.
What'd you get?
It's a 5.
That's a 5. It's good because it's collective number I was looking for.
Okay.
And it was 18. So she saved you so hard. So you guys are running, and this wave goes underneath your
I did.
feet, and you, Steve, immediately face plant. And Voquis just kind of takes Ava's body and like catches her before she falls face first, skidding across the cobblestone. And you pick yourself back up and take the body, and you guys are running your way. You guys make it 60 feet. You are now on the board. I'm going to put you, let's see, who's this?
That's Voquis.
Oh, wow. Nice, Voquis. That's a good one. And then this, so you guys are about here. I'm going to put you about 20 feet ahead, and with Oscar, I'll put you about another 10 feet in front. So you guys are making it down this way. On the right side, what you guys see is like tables and kind of like an open eating area. There's 5 or 6 tables with shops, as it is a rounded area, and in each of those little pockets there's different kind of food shops. As this wave has come through, any kind of glass has been completely shattered. As most of these buildings, each wave that goes through is shattering and then slowly crumpling as the foundations are breaking and everything's kind of getting leveled. Each wave, it brings it down another inch or foot as it's just kind of breaking everything. So that's what you guys do. Balrog, what are you doing? You hear her yell, and you notice that Oscar kind of does these little hops over the waves, like he just knows. And you're getting this instinct from Oscar, like, we gotta go. It's got that like roll, like I don't know if it chirps. It's more like a squawk.
I'm gonna keep booking it.
Okay, so you're gonna use it 60 feet, and you use your action. So it's really it's just the 60 feet on him. You just go faster than normal. That's how we're gonna play that. He just has during a turn. Oscar's gonna be able to move 60 feet. There's no like double dashing or anything with him. It's just purely he's going to get from point A to point B much faster than somebody else timing wise.
So no running leap anymore.
I would let you do it. Sure, it's 20 feet.
25.
25. Yeah. So yeah, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 10, 25. So basically, you are 10, 20, 30 feet from the gate at this point. Just booking it. Then next would be Mr. Bruce.
So Bruce wants to turn around and make sure Voquis and Steve are okay, and then if they need help, he wants to run back and see if he can carry Ava's body for them because he's stronger, right?
Sure. Yeah. No, yeah. You absolutely can. So you turn around. You take 20 feet to come back. I'd say 10 feet to come back around to them. Yeah. And then when you do that, you just like give me the body.
Give me the body. Let's go. I can run a little faster with carrying weight than you guys can.
Sure. Do you guys allow that to happen?
Yeah.
Great. You take the body, you put her over your back or over your shoulder,
shoulder.
and you just start barreling it, right? And you're just running. So you're now with them.
Yeah.
You have your 60. Is it 60 feet?
60 feet if I'm raging, which I'm still currently raging based on the last fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so-
You probably have about 20 seconds left. That's about it
that's
of your
about it,
rage.
right.
You can always rage again if you wanted.
No, I gotta save it.
Okay, as this is happening, you feel these turns and that the sword again, just this time almost the tip comes out of the ground and then pierces back down with such a force. Before it was only like 2 to 3 feet waves. Now this is a 10-foot wave rushing through. It's basically as if a worm was underneath everything and pushing, and all the buildings now are completely crumbling, starting from the center all the way out. You will all three during running will be able to make it 10 more feet before this wall gets to you. I'm going to move you guys. You're 10 feet. This 10-foot wall of cobblestone and everything is barreling through. I will let you guys think about an action of what you want to do at this time as it is about to hit you. And it's not like a wave that's going to hit you. It's going to take you up and it's going to fling you because it's coming with force. What would you guys like to do? I'll give you like a free action to kind of think of maybe creatively how to do this.
Try to just jump over like a jump rope?
Yeah,
and land on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, you could. It'd basically be like an acrobatics check, and because you're raging and your heightened senses as a barbarian, you know that it's coming. I'll give it to you at advantage. Use your acrobatics. How about you two? What do you want to do for this? You want to just try to, I don't know. What do you want to do?
Is there anything above us, like something?
You're out in the open. There's no like trellises over top or anything. It's just an open top. I know I threw you right to the wolves there, so
You did.
Give me like a minute to read the spell.
you got about 10 seconds before we got to move on.
So I want to cast this spell called Rope Trick. I've never used it before.
Yeah, even if you did that, I don't think it's basically the wave is 10 feet behind you. Even if you were to verbalize and cast it, by the time you got through the casting, it's going to hit you.
Because it says it takes one action to cast. So it says you touch a length of rope that is 60 feet long. It rises into the air, and it allows 8 creatures to go into an extra dimensional space.
Yeah, you all have to climb individually the rope.
Okay.
So you could... I'll say how this could work. You could decide if you want to do it. This is how it would play out. You would cast Rope Trick. The two of you would grab onto it. It would hit you and launch you guys like you were on a tether. If that's what you guys want to do, I'm all for it. But I just want to let you know, by the time that you guys grab it, it's right on you.
Okay.
What did you roll while they're
14.
discussing? 14. So with the 14, you're going to be able to, because of heightened senses, you're going to be able to look behind you, kind of do a jump in front of it as it's about to hit, kick off of it, and get above as it goes across, even with the body.
Holding,
you just boop, boop, and you use the momentum and land and just continue running.
Right.
So you're clear. Think about what you're wanting to do, too, because it's coming right for you as well. And you already used jump, so it's not going to be ready again. Just so you're aware.
I'm going to just go ahead and cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. You're going to do mage armor.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do an acrobatics to try and get over it.
Okay. So what's going to happen here is you jump up and you get launched about 20 feet as you jumped up and it launched you forward and you landed and you're going to continue to run. You trying to do an acrobatics of it?
Yeah.
Give me an acrobatics check. No advantage as you're... Well, I'll give it to you advantage because you're trying... As a super dexterous rogue, like you would know that it's coming. You're like, I'll do a backflip because I'm cool. Like do some crazy stuff. You're gonna cast mage armor. Are you gonna try to jump? Are you just gonna like trust fall into it? Like, oh, this is it.
I'm gonna try to jump, but Steve's like a Steve's like a guy. Like he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Dude.
So you're like,
he does not have.
and you're gonna try to jump. Okay.
I'm gonna try to jump, but
Okay.
I don't think Steve has a 10-foot vertical
Let's
leap.
see it. Are you trying to jump just above it, or are you trying to like?
I guess like. There's no way I can jump over this thing.
So I'm gonna like do what I do.
I guess. Okay. Yeah.
Ah, love it.
All right. So what'd you roll, Voquis?
20.
Okay. So it's a 20. As it comes across you, you're able to backflip. And then when you backflip, your feet land, so you're almost horizontal with it, and you ride it through, and then come down. Just graceful as ever. You're just
Steve,
like,
it's so
Cool as
easy.
hell.
Steve is going to need to give me a D20 roll acrobatics check as he tries to apparently jump over the 10-foot. Love it. Let's see it.
Steve, the
You
human
can do
man.
this, Steve.
That's a 20.
You rolled a nat 20.
That's a nat 20.
I told you it was easy.
This is what D&D's all about. That right
That's
there.
beautiful.
Like, oh my
Oh
goodness.
god, that's
So,
good stuff.
Out of like, I don't even know how I want to do this. This is great.
Flavor
Out
it
of,
up for
like,
us.
A beautiful, like, I am one with Steve. Like, all the tax account numbers are just pouring through your mind. You're like geometry, and you look behind, and like all this like Rain Man stuff starts happening. You're like triangles and all of this. You just calculate, and as like rocks and things are coming past, you jump up like a monk off one rock out of the air, off a second rock, off a third, and then backflip off as it goes through, and you land arms crossed.
Bruce turns around and goes,
Just unbelievable. And you know, we all thought Voquis was cool. Like that was just like debris, like some superhero
God.
Bruce
Marvel.
turns around and goes, that was bloody amazing.
And you guys are just still running full speed. You all are going to be able to make it about another 10 feet before, because you are in full motion here. It's coming. It is 5 feet behind you. What do you do?
So you said I'm about 30 feet from the gate,
Yes, that is correct.
and I can make it to that gate by continuing to run. I mean,
It is faster than your run speed. It's a shockwave under the ground.
all right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna try to attempt to use Oscar's wings about as much as a chicken.
Are you guys trying to jump or anything?
Well, I'm on Oscar, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have Oscar try to, flap his wings just above where we could get this thing at.
Okay.
He's got some pretty powerful legs.
Oh yeah. So you guys are just running.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
guys are just barreling, and his head's down, and you're of course you got him on the bridle, and you're like go, and it's right there, and you're like no, and you're like flap. And it tries to jump. It just jumps, so it's kind of fatigued, and its wings are just going like crazy, and it clips the bottom of its legs,
No.
and you guys do a backward somersault
Oscar.
as you guys are flying through the air, the momentum of your speed, and it hits. Oscar lands face down, wings back, legs back, and then you tumble out in front. You basically make it to the gate, but Oscar is just like, ugh, I'm hurt. It's just a little X's in his eyes as that last one went
Aw.
through. He's not dead. He kind of took a beating from that whole like backwards flip skid across the cobblestone. And as you guys land and go through this, you hear another as it happens again. And this time it sounds like, can you imagine like what a volcano sounds like when it erupts? But somehow when it erupts, that explosive like things are coming out, but you don't hear it in the air. You hear it under your feet. It is an earthquake that you've never felt before. This is like an 18 on the Richter scale. Everything begins to shake and crumble. This line where the gate is and where all the buildings, everything starts falling immediately. Not like the last episode of Game of Thrones where everything is crumbling. This is that state that you guys are in. You have a bit of feet to go. And as that last wave and that big noise, as there seems to be explosions and things happening under your feet that you don't understand, there is a bit of panic as it rings out, as that sword that rammed in the last time now went into the ground completely, and the center of Waterdeep is becoming a sinkhole, and everything is the gate is the edge where my elbow is, and it's beginning to do this as it's raising up, as the center is being pulled down. This is just beginning to raise. It is now 10 feet above the ground outside the gate.
Still running.
Okay, all right. Back to Voquis. It's back up to the top of the round. Voquis, you're running.
Yeah.
You just landed beautifully.
Yeah, running.
Okay, you're going to do the full dash, everything?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, there is now rubble falling and landing across. Is going to make this terrain a bit more difficult to get around. I'm just going to represent the different kinds of stuff with D6s here, as I'm just going to randomly place.
Ooh, are those new?
No, I just had them. It's all my Gen Con dice. Okay, so you're going to run your 60, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of these are a lot larger than others, so I'll tell you what as you get up to it. Are you just making a beeline as fast as you can right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
trying to avoid the larger pieces.
Sure. Do you want to avoid or go over?
Avoid.
Okay, so you have 60?
Yeah.
Okay. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,
And then
60.
I would go the 60.
I'll take you right there. Full speed. All right. Next up, Balrog.
I'm past all that, right?
So for you, you were past all the rubble, but you are dazed. Not actually with the status effect of dazed, but you just took quite a tumble. Oscar is knocked out. Is a lifeless body. Now remind you, he's fine steed. So up to you what you want to do with that. But he is a knocked out. As you're about 3 feet from the edge, as it's raising constantly, and you can see the ground 10 feet above or below as the ground is rising. What would you like to do?
So I'll snap and I'll make Oscar
Okay,
go
yeah,
away
you
for a
snap
while.
and the ethereal, he just turns into a quick dust and he's gone. That's really your bonus action.
Okay.
You got movement and an action.
But I'm at the gate, right? I
Yeah,
can make it through
you're
the
right
gate.
there.
Right.
You're right there.
Okay, so I'll make it through the gate.
Okay.
And
there's
then-
no like doors or anything. It's just
Okay.
it's like an edge of a mountain being raised at this point. Everything is crumbling. The buildings are almost flattened.
Okay. Yeah, just I guess continue to book it.
Sure.
And
at this
then-
point, you'd be jumping off.
Yeah.
You just want to jump?
Yep.
Okay. Give me
See
an
ya.
acrobatics check.
So what's beyond that gate there? Is it just like
So
a
it was
cliff,
just the
or-
road, the gate,
okay.
and then there was just the. It's just not a gravel, but it's more of just a dirt road with grass and then
Okay.
trees about 60 feet from this. It's just the outside of the city. That's all it is at the gate.
Open field.
Open field, essentially.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Acrobatics,
18.
as you'll be like jumping down. Actually, you know what?
That's why I was asking. You wouldn't
give
really
me-
jump, right? You would just run through the gate.
It's 10, so the elevation's difference. It's 10 feet
I
up. Give me
got
a
you now.
dexterity saving throw. As this is rising, because of all your plate and everything else, I want you to have a dexterity saving throw as you be dropping down about 15 feet as you jumped to see whether or not you can truly land. What would be your dexterity saving throw? You can use the roll if you want.
18.
Yeah, 18. You land, and you kind of cause a little bit of a in the ground as you land, as you're a hefty boy.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a big boy.
I'm a chunk.
And you land, and then what? Do you want to use the rest of your movement to continue to run?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you run on out. So you're out of that. You're good. As it goes back up, so Balrog, you're done. You're good. You made it out.
I just want to let Bruce know if he has the chance to pick up Oscar's bridle, I don't want to lose it.
At this point, you are 20 feet away. He is 80 feet. There's no way for him to hear that. And to not metagame that. I mean, okay. That was all right. Let's go, Stevie. Stevie, you just landed.
Yeah.
Beautifully. I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
Yeah, I think Steve's still just booking it.
Okay, what's your
Kind of.
total? If you use your action and dash, what's your total? Which would be just double your speed.
60 feet.
60 feet?
Yeah.
Do you want to avoid or do you want to go through? rubble.
Avoid.
Okay.
Steve wants out, man.
I'll go 10, 20, 30, 40, Left or right?
Left.
Okay. That's 50, and I'll take you here 60. These are pretty big pieces of rubble here in the center. These are a little bit smaller in the back.
Okay.
That's pretty much it, unless there's a bonus action you want to do.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not yet.
Last up, Bruce.
So would I have saw what happened to...
Not between all the rubble and everything.
Okay. So
You saw him fly through the
fly
air,
through
but
the
you didn't
air.
see anything else.
Okay. So I...
You're too focused on carrying your
Right.
body. Stuff is falling all around you. You're watching to make
I was
sure.
gonna look for your bridle, but never mind.
Well, you might have it.
Would I have seen the bridle?
No.
No? Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm just going to try to book it to the gate then.
Okay.
So as best I can.
Avoid or over?
I can't really see what's in front of me.
Well, if you avoid, it's a little bit of a snaky, but
So it would take more movement to avoid it, right?
it will. So what's your total movement?
I would assume I'm still raging at this point. So
Yes,
I'm
you're still raging.
60 feet of movement.
And
if I'm raging.
60 feet, and then you use your action to dash, which doubles your entire speed.
Okay, let's do that.
So you get 120 feet.
Yeah, let's do
okay, so avoid then to
Avoid
kind
if
of
I
keep
can,
it
yeah.
simple. All right,
Right.
everything's crashing down. We got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right or left?
Left.
Left? 60, 70, 80, 90. Give me perception check. Looking for 15.
15.
Okay, you see the bridle.
Oh, yeah! As I'm carrying it, I just reached down and just...
Yep, you got the bridle.
Thanks,
And
Tracy.
you're at 95 feet. You have 25 feet left.
Can
You
I
have
do a running
it
leap?
is 20 feet drop. You can use the rest of your movement to jump down.
Would that be dexterity, right?
It
To
will be a
jump?
dexterity saving throw for you to whether or not you take damage when you land, and it's going to be a disadvantage because you've got
'Cause
a
I've got
bridle in
extra
one
weight.
hand, you got extra weight. Then
Right.
there's all of you, and you're like, "Rah, I'm Hulk," you know. But that's your best option.
Yeah,
It's only going to get worse.
Jump and just try to jump out the gate.
Okay, dexterity saving throw at disadvantage. So you roll the d20 twice, take the lower.
9.
9. Okay, you jump out. You're dropping 20 feet with everything else.
Yep.
You land. Your little cankles go as you land at face first. Ava's body goes tumbling. The bridle kind of goes beep, 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 beep. And you just kind of, as you landed. You take a total of 11 points of bludgeoning damage to your ankles as they... And you're not sprained or anything, but it was
Right.
just so much force on your legs.
It hurt.
It hurt. You are out, though, and Ava is alive. She did not take any... she is
Ava.
dead, but her body
Ava's
is
body's
there.
in one piece.
Yeah, it's not like dismembered or anything crazy like that. So, Bruce, you're out. Voquis, you're back up.
All right. Do another 60 feet of movement. The
Okay.
rubble that's in front of me, those blue, gray, green, are those small?
No, they're actually pillars. These
Okay.
these bits are more like big pillars that fell over.
Okay, I'll go around to the right.
To this way? Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 at the gate.
On 40, can I do a perception check to see how Steve's doing?
Sure. Your movement will stop there, and that'll be the end of your turn to turn around and do a perception check. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay, roll me a perception check at advantage. You're spending your turn to think about your comrades, and you look behind you and you see...
I believe that's 17. Let me double check. Yeah, 17.
You see Steve just dancing, just having a grand old time. It's strange that he is just happy in this chaos and death and destruction. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to speak for your character. What would you like her to see as you're running down the street?
Kind of just look up, give a thumbs up, maybe yell out like, I'm fine, I guess.
Yeah, as this perception happening, he puts up the thumb, a piece of rubble nails him in the face. And he just kind of falls to the ground and
Sweet.
takes a knee real quick and stands back up kind of dazed. That's what you see.
Does he actually get hit by rubble?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He doesn't take any damage by the rubble, but he gets hit in the face with rubble flying around.
It's a typical day for Stevie.
Now my face matches my insides.
Oh, it's gonna be a long game.
Steve and Voquis are gonna get along really well.
Real well. This is the sad side, and this is the happy side. This is all right. So that's your turn. Next up is Stevie.
How far am I from the edge here?
60, 80, wait, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet from the edge.
Okay.
You guys are now 25. Wait, 25. You're now 30 feet in the air.
So I couldn't make it all the way there and then cast something, right? Because I'd have to use my.
You
action
could,
as my
you got
movement.
30 feet of movement,
Yeah.
right? So you'd make it there with 20 feet to go. In order to get all the way to the edge and then be able to at least start the movement of jumping, you would actually have to use the dash action, but
Which
you'd
is-
just be
which takes
jumping
that.
off the edge. But you could do that. If you were going to do that, I would allow you to, because technically you'd be the one of the last people out. You might be able to cast something before splatting on the ground.
Okay. That works.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna sprint over there and,
Okay.
and
You barely
fling myself
like
off.
Naruto run, like arms
Yeah.
behind you, and you're just out of here, right?
Well, yeah,
10,
'cause-
20, 30, 40, 50, and those last few feet before, you just jump. You're just like, I'm out! And as it's raising, you're like, ah! All right, freeze frame, midair, back to Voquis. What do you do? He's running, you look behind, he got hit by something, they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't care! And he just jumps right next to you, feet out, like, ah! He's
Well,
just-
if he's going out, then I'm gonna go out too.
Sure. You just, what do you just somersault out? Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
like a-
acrobatics.
Yeah, of
like
course
rogue,
you would.
like the true rogue
like,
I am.
You know those crazy people that go to the end of like the diving boards and like do like a one-handed handstand as they like fall below? That's imagining what you
No,
do.
actually, I'm just gonna stand at the back like this and then just like fall
Oh,
off.
jeez.
But then like
Edgelord
do a
Max.
yes,
And then
edgelord.
just superhero lands.
Yeah,
Yeah, 3-point landing.
Yep,
Superhero landing.
you see him jump and then you go back and you're just like, bye. You fall off. Okay, back to oh boy, Stevie. Okay.
Yeah. You said I can cast something, right?
I said you might.
Chaos.
Leave it up to the die.
Oh, good.
High, you get to cast. Low, you don't get to cast.
Okay.
Okay? Here it is out in front. 7, you don't get to cast.
Bummer.
Voquis, you get a one chance opportunity to somehow in the 35 feet between you and the ground, as he jumps past and you fall past, you have a chance to try to grab him or do something to save. I'll give you one as you're falling, if you choose to. He just jumped off and you're like, this is cool, but you're basically falling at almost the same time. Do you want to try to do anything to help? As you just saw him jump off the edge. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'll grab him and like.
what are you
like-
trying to do exactly? Like, you're going to have to come up with something creative. As this is, what you're falling next to is literally if you took the ground, split it, and it's just like weird pavement and like pipes and like dirt as it is raising up, and then you're falling down to the ground.
So I want to like mama bird curl him into me,
Okay.
and like. As we fall into the ground, if I can't acrobatics pull it off, then take the brunt of the damage myself.
I have something for this.
Okay. So tell me what you
I mean,
think you can do.
It's a class feature, not a spell.
Okay, what do you got?
I have Tides of Chaos. So I assume you're going to have me do an acrobatics check at some point here, or am I just splatting?
I didn't know
So
about that.
the high or low was whether or not you'd be able to cast something before
Right.
hitting the ground.
Does that constitute a cast?
I'll let you do it.
Okay. I get advantage on a ability check.
Yeah.
So
Instead of being able to cast, you're using your what's it? Tides of Chaos.
Tides of Chaos.
Great. Roll me. You know what? We're gonna roll a D100 on that.
Oh, good.
Yep, Tides of Chaos
Yay.
is going to invoke a surge on top of what's happening. You try to mama bird him as you guys are falling. Are you just bear hugging him and you're going to try to take the brunt of it as you're falling? Great. You guys are falling. It happens a split second. High, you get to be able to take the blunt, and then low, you just take the damage together as you land on your sides. Okay, you land on your sides. That was low. That was a 6. So you mama bird him, but he does this Tides of Chaos as all of this like crazy energy comes over him. You guys are going to land on your sides together, and you'll take some mitigated damage. You're not going to take full as you did something really cool. You can because she's kind of like grappling you. You can try even. Oh, this is so difficult. Are you willing to let her like mama bird you as you're falling?
Not really.
I mean, you can like push me off and say no.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go with that. You
And then-
push him off.
This is explicit.
This is getting interesting really fast.
I need to
And
give
then I'll just do
consent
an
before I'm
acrobatics.
mama birded.
Oh boy.
Here it comes. This could change everything in what we just planned. Ready? 21.
All right.
And then I can just do an
On a
acrobatics.
100-sided die, is that good or bad?
What do I got?
Awesome.
What we got? What we got? What we got?
Okay, so you were like, I got this, and you kicked her off because you thought you had Tides of Chaos, and then you're like, Tides of Chaos, and you're like, why? And it goes, you just received disadvantage on rolls for 1 minute. The exact opposite of your Tides.
No, hang on. Hang
That's beautiful.
on. I just used the thing that gives me advantage. Does that
Spell
cancel out?
targets have disadvantage on saves, so you're trying to do it. It's an acrobatic. It'll be a dexterity save when you're falling.
Yeah.
And so you use Tides of Chaos to give yourself advantage, and your surge just gave it disadvantage. So it just took
So,
away what
just
you used.
normal?
You're just normal.
Cool.
That's what I was like. Of all the things on this, it literally backfired. The one thing you're trying to
That's
do.
really stellar, actually.
Yeah, you're like,
I love that.
I'm gonna be cool. I
This-
should have not kicked her away, and you're about to like,
grab
and then you hit the ground.
This is why I wanted to play this
Oh
class.
my god! All right, well,
I would like to do an acrobatics save then. If you push me away.
you can do an acrobatic save, but it's going to be a disadvantage because you used all the time that you would to.
The longest fall in history. Isn't
I mean, 30,
There's a lot
35
going on.
feet, all of this happened immediately as he jumped off and she, like, falls and then, like, goes to grab and he's like, no, and then, smack. And then she's like, smack, because it's disadvantage, because he kicks you off. What'd you roll?
Oh, I haven't rolled
You
yet.
roll a dexterity saving throw, Steve.
Okay.
Just regular.
10.
10. You fail.
Cool.
That's a 10.
You fail. All right. You guys will take...
That's a lot of dice you rolled for a 30-foot fall.
It's expensive, especially when you're falling on your face.
Actually, in the player's handbook,
18 damage as you guys smack onto the ground. You land on your shoulder, dislocating your right shoulder from just the sheer force.
Wait, how much
Voquis,
damage?
18. Your right shoulder is dislocated. For you, Steve, you fell directly on your back. It is going to half your speed for the rest of the day, as you will need the ability of somebody helping you as you landed, and that old sciatic pain is kicking in, and too
Great.
much sitting in a chair. So your speed will be halved for at least a while.
Okay.
Okay? 18 damage as well. You survived it.
Oh, great.
You survived it though. If we hadn't done those changes,
Except that it
you
almost
would have died
paralyzed
from
you.
the fall, like sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay, we are out of initiative. Everybody is out of the city. Good job. The city begins and continues to rise as think of the center point, and everything else is rising up around the center point, and the ground keeps going and going. Where the bottom of the ground, you remember in like that what was the Marvel movie where the city gets lifted?
yeah,
the second
Ultron.
Avengers
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. So
Yeah.
think of that, but instead it's folding over on itself as the edges of Waterdeep begins to bring into the center and starts to create a ball with the ground, and it's huge. This is like 800 feet tall, as this city was massive in itself, as it folds in on itself and then comes down and becomes one massive, massive, massive piece of lava, black, just disgusting. Looks like a massive marble that's really just like a marble made of lava, really. And it hardens, and then it just sits there in the basin. So it goes down in this weird circular motion all the way to the water, and the water begins to rush in and goes over top that large globule of lava that is now the city as it folded in on itself, and that sword is in the center of it. So remember the sword is like 80 feet tall. All the lava came around the sword, and the whole city just imploded on itself and then hardened to one giant ball. This water from the ocean rushes in, and what you're standing on is a cliff, like the cliffs of Dover, like in England, where it's like the white cliffs. You're down about 80 feet down to just water as the water's coming in, and the ground begins to let loose because now it's just soft dirt along those edges. There are pieces that are crumbling in. You guys are not out of the water yet. You are right on the edge. You both fell. You guys are not that far. You will be able to know that they're in danger because of danger sense. You've been able during this time to get Ava away. Do you go back to help them?
Yes.
Okay. With that, that's all I need. You go back and you immediately grab both of them. You help him with his back. Your shoulders just completely dislocated.
I have 4 hit points,
and
so.
oh boy! And you guys are rushing back as pieces where you guys landed are now crumbling down into the water. Bloop, bloop, bloop as the cliff is beginning to form more. You guys are out of initiative. The last thing that I will tell you as far as world building goes, when you guys are looking, I'm guessing you're standing like shoulder to shoulder as there literally was a city and now it's nothingness. It's just a big hole in the ground as the ocean's kind of finding its way against this hill. And behind you, there's about a couple hundred people, a couple bits of caravan, people that got out before. The people that were running down the streets who made it out before the sigil happened. They're all in the tree line, scared. Just a couple of wagons who were outside trading, people that ran out, mothers, kids, families, magistrates, people of political people. It's the slums to the rich of the rich. Everybody has nothing. And they're all just standing, about a couple hundred people, standing as a group, just quiet. And that's what's behind you, about 60 feet between you and them, and then 20, 25 feet to the hill. What would you guys like to do?
Do I recognize anyone in the crowd, specifically
Not anyone specific. This is a very large city. The people that you knew mainly ranged from, Haven people. You could give me a perception check at advantage to see if you could see anybody from... Haven there, like look for familiar colors.
15.
15, you do not see any Haven people. You don't see anybody with those symbols or any kind of, not even any of the shop owners. It's basically like the vagabonds and the people that were staying at the front gate. Those are the people that made it out.
No Dorfil?
No Dorfil.
I got a question here because
Shoot.
this is something we've never experienced before.
Oh, yeah.
So, would we be able to take some sort of a rest, and if we can, does that heal?
So resting will heal you. You'll get your spell slots back. You'll get anything that says short or long rest if we give you a long rest. And a long rest is an 8-hour. Short rest is only a 4-hour bit of sleeping. At this moment, if you were like, so that you understand, you could be like, all I care about right now is making camp and sleeping. This is crazy. You could absolutely do that, but there might be things that
going on.
there might still be stuff going on. These people are just. This has all happened in literally less than a 30-minute time for when it started to now. Everything, the world is completely changed. All of Waterdeep is gone.
So everything that's going on in Waterdeep, are we no longer, us and the people, we're no longer in danger, right? Everything that's Waterdeep's not going to threaten us anymore. Like
Right.
We're watching it happen.
As of right now, you guys have just watched it as it took a couple minutes as the earth really formed up and clashed together and pieces and debris are falling off. And I mean, this is like, think of a mile-wide section, and you're watching at a little bit of a distance as it is like folding dough, but instead of dough, it's the land, and it's contorting itself and it's going hot red, and it's getting smaller as if it's somehow compacting, and it compacted down to about 100-foot diameter circle of the what if you could touch it, it looks like molten lava that has cooled. It's all black. But in the cracks, it's red with the sword that was inside of it. You saw as everything conformed itself around the circle. And That's what you watched it over a couple minutes, and just complete awe as you were like, what is going on?
This conversation, you don't see that every day.
Yeah, it's really, I know this is kind of like, it's weird,
mind-blowing.
right? And now it's kind of open because instead of like, I have a clear goal, this is where the story kind of diverges. You guys have the floor. You can talk to the people. You can rest. You guys can make camp. You guys can basically tell me your intentions, and I will build somewhat of a story over what you guys want to do right this second. So, Balrog, are you wanting to rest? Is that really what your next... You want to, okay, take sleeps. What would you like to do?
Bruce would like to help Voquis bury Ava in a nice spot to go ahead and get that taken care of.
Okay.
Find a nice tree somewhere on a hilltop, maybe.
Yeah, Elric's with
underneath
you
it.
guys as well.
Okay.
And Elric is pretty solemn.
Yeah.
He's walked over to each of you and performed healing maneuvers in order to heal you guys back to full. So you guys right now, if there is any healing that you need, just go ahead and heal back to full. Elric will relocate your shoulder with his medicine checks and then heal any kind of tendon problems. Your ankles, he gives a nice soothing cream that doesn't actually have any healing abilities. It's aloe vera, and he just applies it to your ankles, and he just kind of looks at you in the eye and just applies it and looks at you in the eye. It's
Thank you,
real nice.
I needed that.
And for your back, he gives you what is only comparable to an icy hot concoction that applies on warm, and then it goes cool if you breathe on it. So he just kind of blows on your back.
Good.
And you just kind of, ooh. And he gives you guys some sweet healing, and then he's going to work his way over to the people, and there are people that are sick, and there's injured, and he's going to just kind of spend his time healing. Everybody give me a perception check. Advantage for you. Give me a perception check as you guys are kind of like talking with Elric and then looking over at the
21.
people. 21.
16.
16.
13.
Good.
18.
18. Good job. 21. What a 21 sees is when he was working on your ankles, you see that some of his fingernails have turned a color of black. And those, he doesn't hide it. It's not like it's anything strange, but it wasn't black earlier in the day, and you do notice that. As a 16 and a 13 and an 18, you guys are looking across. You didn't notice the change in the color, but what you guys did notice is that some of the people that didn't make it out, there are some goblins in the group. As you remember, there was you guys helped some goblin families, and there's different people. And there are 2 goblins. There's a father and a son, and they are there. They were out shopping something. Depends if you want to talk to them. They might give you a little bit of a story. But they're in the crowd. It's the only people, they're not directly affiliated with Haven, but
they were there.
There's no goblins in all of the city. But you guys were housing like a group of 25. Past that, there are people that are just kind of solemnly like, what do we do? Like starting that conversation, that murmur kind of going through the crowd, looking for like a leader kind of thing. And the murmur kind of gets louder and louder. And this short, bald, very fat magistrate gets up on a crate and I do declare that I believe we should make camp. And everybody just kind of looks at him like, no. I think this would be the greatest possible idea if we can all just band together. And this larger barbarian pushes him off the thing and goes, we need to go on down 15, 20 miles south to the next city. We need to find people, let them know. We don't need to camp. Leave the week here. I'm taking my group, and we're going south. Anybody who wants to come can come with us. And the bald man gets back up on the crate. I don't think we should do that at all. And he just pushes it back off. Don't listen to this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about. Come with me. And a bunch of you like, yeah, we'll go with you. So this camp begins to get a little bit split. All the brawn binds together. This barbarian seems to keep saying words like, leave these guys, these are weak, we will never be able to survive, there's no point to keep these people alive, they were the scum of the earth anyways, they're just a bunch of urchins, we should just go on down south and find our way, find some work, and tell people that this is happening, leave these people here. Very brutish. You do notice the fact that you've been here long enough that he has a symbol of one of the Lord's families. It is the family, if you remember, of there was the gnome, the 77 gnomes. Do you remember them? The little gang group?
80 tigers?
80 tigers. I said 77. 80 tigers. Thank you. The 80 tigers, that's not their symbol, but it's very close to it, as if it might be a part of them. It shares a very similar symbol, but obviously he's not a gnome. So he's riling up the people, and it's really split into two. You have all the fighters and the people that are working together as far as brawn, fighters, and then you have the families and the caravan and the merchants and the magistrates and all the people who can't really defend themselves. And the group that is all the fighters, they've all riled each other up, and they're all kind of bolstered under one banner, which is that barbarian. And they begin to move. Is there anything you guys want to do?
Bruce would like to go up and hit that barbarian right in the face.
Okay. All right. All right. So make an attack at advantage, and it'll be an unarmed unless you just want to hit him with your fist.
I'm gonna hit him with my fist. I'm
Okay.
a pit fighter.
Okay. Yeah. Unarmed. So roll 2d20s. Give me the highest number, and then add your unarmed strike, which should be on the bottom of the list of your weapons.
So unarmed strike. So 25.
Ooh, yeah. 25 hits. There's just like a number.
That just says 6 bludgeoning.
6 bludgeoning. All right. Yeah, so he's talking and really riling these people up, and he's a pretty tall 6'5" barbarian, pretty beefy. He's got a really nice double axe on his back. They're shortened axes, but there's 2 of them, and he's just up there just, yeah, let's go south. And you just walk up and just, excuse me, boom, just put him on his ass. I mean, he goes flying back a little bit and thuds. You have the floor.
We leave no one behind. Everyone goes together. We stick together. We get to the next town. If anyone has a problem with that, they can come talk to me personally.
Yeah, so 2 more guys are immediately going to try to hit you in the face as they were part of that guy. So there will be 2 more. You get to immediately hit them as well. So go ahead and roll to attack, again at advantage because you're a monster and you're just swinging wildly on these dudes. They're both going to swing on you, which, ooh, okay.
22 and 20.
Yeah, you hit them both. So what's going to happen here is you say these words, and 2 other guys are like, hey, that's my guy. And they both come up. You grab one guy's fist, mid-swing, pull him in close, and clock him in the face, throwing him to the ground. Just complete, like, child's play to you, right? And this last guy actually comes up, and he hits right in your chest. You just smile, and uppercut him, and he goes flying back.
Does anyone else have an issue?
The crowd's pretty quiet. They all kind of put their swords down, and you hear one guy in the back, who are you to lead us?
I'm Bruce Rockbear. I'm the greatest pit fighter ever known.
I think I've heard of him. I've heard of that name. Yeah, I think I've heard of that too. They are listening to you. So you've got the group of fighters' attention. There's around, I'd say, 30 to 40 of them in all reality. Not too many. Different kinds of fighters, swords, barbarians, just different types of classes. Mainly just kind of some guards and some low. There's nobody of skill, really. The guy that really had any skill was the person you just kind of beat the poop out of. And he's knocked out cold. So, well, you right now have everybody's ear as far as all the fighters. The magistrate kind of is talking to all the other people and just, we need to camp. Real high-pitched, big mustache. Just real weird. Just like a bulbous man, really. Looks like a bowling pin more than anything. And he's got a little vest, and he puts his hands in his vest. We should come. You know, that paints the picture for you. And so the group just kind of decides, yeah, I think we should camp. This is good. So they do the classic caravan where they put a few of the carts in a circle and they bring all the people in. Some people are just walking off. They're like, we have family off in this direction. As it goes through the day, the numbers have dwindled. There was a couple hundred, roughly. You guys have about 100 people there. Some people are like, I don't want any part of this. I need to go here. I have family. I know people in the woods, so on and so forth. Their lives have completely changed. So there's around 100 people, mixed match of children and fighters and different things of that nature, now that you have all the fighters with you. Anyone else? Is there anything you want to do? They're starting to set up camp. They have food and rations, and people are sharing and healing, and people are binding together to be a little community.
So I'm gonna spend most of the day where we buried Ava, alone, just to have some time
Sure.
to be,
That's no problem.
you know, during like the evening time. Is that goblin father and son still there, or did they peace out and bail?
So, okay, let's do those separately. We're going to do the Ava thing first. You collect the body. Elric, you 3, unless you 2 want to go as well. No? Steve? Staying behind as well? Okay. The 3 of you look for a place. Elric picks the tree, stating that the tree has a strong bond to the eve. And you guys make instead of digging a hole, it's the stones on the top. Yeah. It's letting the earth take the body instead of putting the body in the earth. You set up the stones. It's a beautiful scene. The sun starting to come down. Is there any words that you want to speak over the body?
It's not as much words as it's just like silent.
Sure.
And
Elric leaves after he does his druidic prayers. He creates flowers to cover the grave, so it's a very mossy grave. It's very, very pretty, and he goes ahead and leaves. Do you stay?
I pet her on the shoulder and said, I'll be near if you need me, and then I walk away too.
Yeah, and I'll just like kind of like put my hand on yours and I'll say thank you so much for all that you did. It really means a lot.
No worries.
So with you, you're going to stay there for a bit and then make your way back. As far as the goblins, because Haven was the only place that was safe for the goblins to be, it's not safe for them anywhere else. People's idea of goblins are pretty bad. As most of the point, every goblin everyone's ever met has been evil and horrible and wants to eat their children. They were fearful of their lives, and during the whole commotion of when you were speaking, they haven't been seen since. They've booked it. You might be able to try to find them at some point, but you would have to figure out a way to try to find them. But as far as you can tell, and you look around, you don't see them.
Okay.
You would have asked as well, like, hey, has anybody seen the goblin father or son that was with us? And they're like, no, not since the beginning. We were all standing together, saw them. That was the last time. That kind of stuff.
Hang out around the group and try to get back to some normalcy.
Cool. Yeah, people actually, a couple of bards are playing some music, and they're trying to kind of make light of the situation and let people kind of feel good, even though it was all just death and destruction. They're playing sad music. It's not like lively and craziness, so there's some drink and some food, and people are just kind of staying solemn for the most part. Steve, anything you want to do?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
I think Steve is a creature of habit, so he's looking to see if anybody from the Waterdeep Accountants Guild made it out.
Sure.
For some company.
Give me a perception roll while you're doing that. Balrog, what are you trying to do during this time?
So my intent would be to have all the fighters rally around myself and to start training, just skirmishes, whatever.
Okay.
Until the sun completely goes down, into which we all, at least for myself, take that long rest.
Sure. So for a lot of them, they were all just kind of like sheeple for the most part during this whole yeah, we should go south. And then Bruce Don't listen to this
took out the main
idiot.
three.
They were all kind of like really confused, but they're not really wanting to skirmish or fight. All their families and friends are dead. They all kind of get together in like a small area, and they're kind of taking inventory of their weapons and gear, as mandated by Bruce, and trying to understand what people's worth are. There are certain people that are obviously a little bit more skilled than others, and you could single them out and say, "Show me what you got," if that's what you want to like kind of test some people's ability.
Yeah, I would say, that's something that I would do, and if I have to use Conquering Presence to rally more people, then I will do so.
Okay, yeah, let's do that here in a second. Steve, what was the one thing you're wanting to do? You're wanting to look for people, right?
Look for people
merchant
from the guild.
Yeah, so what'd you roll?
14.
14. You notice on that magistrate's vest, there is the Merchant Guild of Waterdeep crest.
Okay.
You could go talk to him. That's the only person that you've noticed when looking around and looking for anything.
Yeah, I want to go talk to him, see
Okay.
if he has any idea what just happened, since to me he's like a authority figure
Sure.
kind of thing.
What do you mean you don't know? He's on this little crate to even be eye to eye with you.
I don't know what just... I mean, the town...
What do you think I would know? I am just a man of merchant. I make money. I have heard, as I have little bees everywhere.
It's Varys. We're dealing with Varys right now.
Apparently.
I have heard that Olden was taken out by many, many, many mages as well. Portals above the city, and then the city was no more. I have heard many things, but I hear all sorts of things.
All right.
My voice has changed like 18 times.
It has. That's fair. Are you having a breakdown? Are you all right?
Well, my family did just die in front of me.
That's fair. I'm gonna go. I don't want to bother you.
Thank you. We should camp. He has lost it a bit as his hair is frizzled. You see that he is pretty much a crazy person, as he always is, but he seems to be a bit over the top, not accepting what's happened.
Right.
When he says he lost his family, you could ask him more about that, but obviously he is completely frazzled.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let him kind of.
Yeah, he's
figure it
talking
out
and
for the
barking
moment.
like weird orders. No one's listening to him. He's just on this crate talking to himself, essentially, like a crazy person. Everybody else is solemn and but he's
Great.
like, oh, yes.
Bruce would like to gather the team together and have a quick chat.
Let's do the Conquering Presence, and then we'll do a quick chat. Conquering Presence. How do you want to do that? You want to just, in the group? Conquering Presence means they're going to listen to you.
Right, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, all the fighters.
Okay,
Every single one of them.
You put down your sword into the ground, be like, listen!
Yeah.
Listen to me!
Yeah.
I'm important! No, I'm just kidding. You make it, how do you want that to be?
I would just, I'd approach him and say, based on what we just went through, we were very unsuccessful. We just lost our homes. Let's make sure that this does not happen again. And in order to do that, we need to train.
And a few people will just kind of, in the back of the crew, just be like, what do you mean train? How do we train for mages coming into our city and putting... Everyone is dead. How do we train against that?
Balrog completely ignores what that one person just said.
And then more people will be like, yeah, I fight with my sword. I don't even do magic. Like, what good am I against the dogs? Did you see the dogs? And multiple people in like little groups are like, yeah, I saw the fire dogs. They were horrible. These are not like fighters like you and me. These are like maybe like, think of like guards people, like at a guard shack. Like,
They were just doing their jobs.
So at that point, Balrog is, understanding that they're still kind of scared, but does not care.
Okay.
And what he's going to do is he's going to charge up his scales, acting like he's going to use the breath weapon, and really make them understand that this is something that needs to happen.
Yeah, so they listen to you as soon as you begin to like charge the scales a bit and like your presence. There's not many Dragonborn as there is. There's none in the group. You're the only one here.
Yeah.
So you doing this, a hush falls over the crowd, and they have all ears to what you're saying. And they, okay, well, it seems like you know best. Yeah, I think we should train. You hear that throughout the group. Yeah, let's do some training. Let's train tomorrow. I want to drink some meat tonight. Yeah. And they just like, they're simple people.
All right.
Is your point to train right now? Is that what you're wanting to do? If that's what you're wanting to do, you can tell
You're
them.
interrupting
to do
your
it.
long rest just now, just so you know.
Well, the sun hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah, it's still evening. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. I want him to train now.
Okay. Yeah,
Well-
you're like, no drink for you.
That's
Take
right.
out your swords. Pick a partner. And you start giving these orders, and they start making lines, and they're like, I don't want to do it. I want to eat and drink. And, they're mourning while fighting each other, and but they do exactly what you're asking.
And they're crying.
yeah,
while
they're
fighting
crying. A
each
couple of
other.
them are crying.
They,
No, crying.
they pair up, and I'm, walking to and
yeah,
fro,
you're just your arms behind your back,
yelling, "Switch!"
strengthen your back, change your footsteps.
Yep.
All that. I don't know. Change
You're
your
handing out
footsteps. That's
tissues.
yeah.
Yeah.
Loki's like, I'm
You are
sorry.
such an asshole.
So yeah, that happens, and you guys are training. Nighttime comes. Do you let everybody stop when the sun goes down?
At that point, yeah.
They're like, oh, thank God. And they all kind of disperse, and you hear most of them just drop their swords and weapons where they're standing. They don't put them anywhere. They don't take them with them. They just, a couple of them take off their breastplates, and they just drop it like, ugh. And they walk over like a bunch of teenagers would. And they start drinking and eating some food, and it's pretty solemn. It's nighttime.
We need to have a chat.
Anything else anybody wants to do before nighttime? Yeah? Nope? Okay, good. Yep. Solid. Chat. You gather everybody together.
Guys, we need to get these people to safety. Next town, at least. And then we'll continue our journey and figure out what happened. Does anyone agree?
Seems like a good idea to me.
Seems like common sense, Bruce.
Yeah, I'm not really a leader. I'll follow.
I don't want to be the leader either.
I'll be the
Well-
leader, Bruce.
I've got it from you, Balrog. Thank you.
I'll be the leader, Bruce.
So you guys are like nudging it. No, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. So yeah, you guys have these conversations. If there's anything else you want to have the night, you guys sleep. The fighters position themselves around the camp in order to keep a continual watch. You kind of being the leaders of this whole encampment, tell certain people they've got to stay on watch. And looters, you can only imagine that certain people would be looking for these would be prime pickings as the entire city has gone down. So
One thing that I would like to do, the most valuable stuff from the town that is in the caravan, I would like to put in like a 20-foot area and cast alarm around it, just in case anything happens in the middle of the
sure,
night.
there'd be like the fire and then the stuff and then the caravan and the people like sleeping inside the circle.
Yeah, just because I imagine that like not everyone can fit in 20 feet, so
Yeah.
just the most important
Sure.
whatever.
There's really not that much important stuff. A lot of the
figured.
things that you put in there are simple weapons. They do bring in their weapons and things and kind of set it together, not on like racks, but like swords in the ground so they'd be easy to get.
Yeah.
Bows, a few axes, a lot of food, some water, some weird pottery stuff, some wares from one of the caravans had some fine silks and things of that nature, but not much. Not much at all. Food is really scarce. Everyone's eating this first night, but this is not going to last more than tonight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an issue soon, and you all kind of recognize that like, is this all the food that we got? So with that being said, anything else?
Yeah, I know that there's like watches going on, but can I just take like 4-hour watch just like in a tree?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You climb up a tree, and you want to take on the first or last half?
First.
Okay, you take on the first. Cool. You put your hand up.
Yeah. So I want to go back to the fighters along with Bruce, nudge them and say we need to go hunting in the morning for more food.
Okay. Great.